Welcome back to the Iron Insight. Thank you for starting your week off right with the Iron Insight every Monday morning at 4 a.m. I'm Bryn Welds,
And I'm Andrew Nichols with Southern Leatherworks.
and
I'm Mason.
today we brought Harrison Stone in. We're going to talk about starting a business up. Pretty much, this is more of a lesson for me and the listeners as I'm getting more into some side work and registering for whatnot, and making my business legal. I originally, it was just going to be me and Andrew, and then I was like, well, somebody else with an experienced welding business that we're friends with, and that's Harrison. So, and
Harrison said, "Yeah, I'm experienced. Yep, I know
Oh
a thing or two.
yeah.
Oh yeah."
Oh yeah. Professional.
So Harrison, if you want to start, tell us kind of where you're at with your business and what's some things you tend to do with it work wise.
All right, so I get a lot of word of mouth, and then I also have repeat customers. I have a lot of landscapers and stuff like that. I mean, Andrew, his brother, has stuff like that coming in all the time. That big trailer you're doing,
Yep.
but like one of my customers, he's probably came to me 7 times for just
Hmm.
stuff. He called me yesterday, had a trailer broke, and I mean, I told him to take the whole trailer back because it's worthless. I mean, I was like, I'm not fixing that. I said, you bought a trailer, it's already broke, go take it back. So that's another thing, being truthful, because people appreciate that a lot. I said I could easily make $2,000 off of you right now, but I'm not going to do that. Take it back, and then I got to fix one of his other trailers. One of the other trailers I braked. One of the parts that I put on there, the side pieces, I didn't brace it up enough. So you're going to have problems as well. It's going to break. You'll have to fix that, and you got to hold true to that. But sometimes when you're fixing something that went wrong, they'll also add another project. So like he's wanting me to put some jacks on the back of the trailer so he can not have it so heavy back there when he's unloading. So you got to take the hits and just go with it. I mean, getting jobs really, like I said, it's all word of mouth. I do post on social media. Facebook Marketplace, I've got a lot from, but I also, you want to be a little bit weary about that because I don't know, some of the people on there, you can't trust them. They're going to waste a lot of your time, a lot of your time. Hey man, can you weld this? They think you're going to charge them $10. I
Yep.
don't think half of them realize what actually they're asking for. Dude, I've welded in 110 with a MIG machine on flux core in some mansion in a garage on a go kart. Like it's just you get the most random jobs. It's crazy, the most random jobs. And being mobile, it adds a lot to your value, but it's also a lot more involved. Like a lot. You can't just have one machine. You have to have two. You have to have
Yep.
two ways of getting there because one of them's gonna break. I promise. It's a ton that goes into it.
when did you start your business? Like, not when you went full time, but when did you start getting into it?
Well, when I was working beforehand, I started at I don't know a couple months before I left. I started it with my boss at the time, and then now it's fully mine. But back then, we had a little side gig going, and then it turned into actual business.
So he was with you. Your former boss was with you doing the side work.
Yep.
Nice.
So that's
That's
where A
awesome.
and H came from. It was Austin and Harrison, but he had another kid on the way. He was also 45 minutes away from his house, so he didn't have time. He's also the supervisor over the whole welding thing, so he had no time.
Hmm.
So when I was working, he was doing overtime because he was the boss over there. So he had to train the weekend shift and stuff like that. So it just didn't work out. Nothing wrong with him. I still hang out with him to this day.
Yeah, gotcha. So what about like, has it been like trial and error? Or?
Yeah, you're gonna lose a lot. I lost my tail on a pontoon. I mean,
Uh,
dude, I got robbed because I quoted it. It's because I quoted it. People don't like to hear 100 an hour, but to be honest with you, that's the safest way you're gonna make it out alive.
yeah.
Completely honest with you. You just tally up your hours and then take off what you think it's. If you feel like, hey, I was screwing around, I went to eat at this time, take that out.
Yep.
But honestly, dude, the hour rate is what's going to keep you from getting screwed. Seriously. I mean, I will quote a job because a lot of people like it in paper. But I mean, if it's something I've never done, I'm not going to put a quote on it because I don't know. I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not going to lose money to help somebody. It's not happening. This is a
Yep.
business. I'm not here to lose money. I'm here to make it. So I'm not going to put a set money amount on something I've never done and there's nothing to look at. Like, I mean, welding that knuckle I did the other day, that was stainless to cast iron. That thing cracked like 5 times. I had to grind it out, preheat it again, and then weld all over it again, throw it in a fire blanket, put it in front of a heater. Dude, I mean, that was my cousin, so I gave him a really good deal. But
Yep.
I mean, if I was an actual customer, I would have had to charge them a good bit because I mean, it's not my fault it cracked every single time. It's
Yeah.
cast as stainless. It's already a problem.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have things happen that are very least. Like I've said to y'all before, I've welded in somebody's house on a bed frame. I mean, and there was a vet right beside us. We had to be quiet, or else he's gonna come in there and like lose it. So I mean, dude, you'll get in the weirdest positions, dude. I've welded on a shipping container one time. It was a 7-hour job. I was putting a door in. That's another thing. It was 100 an hour because, or 150 actually, because I've never done that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I've never put in a door on a shipping container. I mean, I'm not going to put a quote on that. I've never done it. So that one, it ended up being like $800. So it was a little over 7 hours, and they bought me lunch. So I gave them a deal and everything, and it wasn't too far from me. But when I was doing that, when I tell you, it's like their whole family tree was outside in 104-degree heat watching me do the entire job. I'm not lying. I'm talking the entire job. They were out there in lawn chairs watching it, watching the whole thing unspill. I mean, now if you hire a plumber or something, are you gonna watch him fix your toilet for however long it's gonna be and just stare at him? I mean, no, you're not. It was 104 degrees outside. Why is 7 people watching me?
That's
Weird.
like, do you remember you asked me why I was working? Because I was doing a side job on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, I remember
I was doing that trailer modification, but I had to have the guy's shop. I did it in his shop with his welder, and it was a decent sized shop, but with what I was adding to it, I had to have the garage door open to be able to put it on because it was too long at that point. But so the shop's in the backyard, and his whole family was outside eating for Thanksgiving
that. Oh my
uh,
god.
while I was welding out there, and it was cold then. Too. It was like maybe 30 degrees. I mean, they're like
Why
it was
why did you
bad
say yes to that?
because that's like my first real. Well, I got like 2 repeat customers right now that I like doing work for, but he's got the bigger repeat work because he owns a dumpster business, so he's having me like it'll be a lot of repeat work for me. And but I took that. I wasn't planning on doing it Thanksgiving Day. He didn't tell me until the day before that he needed it for the day after Thanksgiving, Black
I would have
Friday.
told him that's great, dude. You're gonna have to wait. I mean,
That or you charge them double holiday pay. You know.
uh, yeah, I got reimbursed for that bad boy. I mean, if
Yeah.
I'm out there on Thanksgiving, you better have me a damn piece of turkey. That's all I gotta say.
Whole ass leg for that matter. Fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
I mean,
I'm gonna bounce off of how Harrison was talking about the quotations versus charging per hour, and like you mentioned, Harrison, I'm building this big ass trailer, and of course, customer gives you a drawing, you get your material order for the drawing, you know exactly to the specification, and lo and behold, there was some stuff missing out of the drawing, or he wants to add this or expand this, contract this, do all this, that, and the other, and then that's where the quotation, you meet that mark pretty damn quick during the project. And then you got to stop. And this is where you're honest with the customer. Like you said, Harrison, it's all about honesty. You got to stop. You got to call the customer and say, hey, due to these changes in the plans, we're going to have to add a sheet here. I got to buy 5 more sticks of material here, which is what happened. And at the end of the day,
more sticks.
oh, yeah, it was 5 more sticks, dude. Yeah.
What do you add? 20 foot to the trailer.
But he wanted another rack. He wanted to expand. I mean, because the way I had it laid out, dude, I had it down to the nail of how many sticks I needed. I wasn't going to have anything left over. It was great. And then he's like, well, I'd really like to make this wider. And then this pen box.
Oh my god, dude! Listen. Forgot a couple things, and then you said 5 sticks. Now,
Five sticks of 24-foot square tubes. That's how much shit we added, and that's what wasn't on the drawing. So, well, he's like, well, I need this. Well, he wanted a pin box for all of his pins for his form boards, and he wanted it massive. He wanted a rack up front, that way he could put all of his bowl float poles in it. I mean, we added a bunch of shit.
Yeah. It looks
So
sweet, man. I want to see what he's pulling the heavy ass thing with. Is what I want to see.
it's gonna be an F-350, I believe. So
Okay.
it'll be plenty. Listen, if you saw any of the form board trailers around here, you'd be like, damn, this thing's fucking SpaceX type shit compared to everybody else.
Oh no, that
But
thing's sweet.
oh,
Seriously,
it's gonna be nice. I painted the racks last night, primed and painted them, and then I primed the trailer deck last night. Got it all primed underneath and on top. But it comes back down to having to call your customer when there's gonna be more material bought. You got to call the customer, explain to him like, hey, if you want to do this, this is what it's gonna take. And he said yes. And then we got it finished. But that's where a quotation can come in and kick you in the ass. But when it's a big enough project like that, where there's a lot of dollars on the line, they do want a hard number. And then Brent and I were talking about that of, man, do you give them a quote or you just tell them an hour, how much an hour, like you said, Harrison, and then, how many hours you're thinking. It's just definitely a check and a balance. It's,
when I started out in the truck, I had a dude that was a builder around here, and I basically did a lot of work for him. And that's the reason I had to get insured. I went from, doing stuff in the shop to actually doing some pretty legit shit. And on
yep.
that first day, I had to cut out a structural beam, weld that back in.
Oh, Lord.
And then the handrail I built is like 2 stories up. I've shown y'all. It's that huge pipe handrail. That's another thing. You got to know when to leave, too. If they screw you over, don't stay. I'm not broke, so if somebody pisses me off, I'm leaving. I'm not staying.
And it's not worth it because that shows what kind of customer they are. They'll continue to jerk you around. They're not gonna they're not gonna give you more projects just because you help them out.
I might have to go back. But nah, I mean, dude, I also sold myself short, man. I mean, dude, I think it was like 40 an hour, and 40 an hour sounds great with
Yeah.
material. He's paying material, of course, but I
Yeah.
mean, it was like 5 minutes from my house, and
Sure.
I've never done a mobile job really, not to something to that extent. So I took the 40 and I did that, and I did a good job, but it wasn't a set schedule because just about everything I was doing was outside, and it happened to rain. And as you know, dude, I go on a lot of vacations, man. If I can go, that's another thing, Brian. If you go full out on your own, and your best friend's going to the beach, you're probably going too.
You're going with them. It's like, oh yeah, I can go. We're good. I can go. Yep.
Dude, I probably went on 10 plus trips last year just because I could.
But that's also because you work Monday to Sunday. You work double the hours anybody else is going to work. So you take your weekends when you can. You might not get a Saturday, Sunday weekend, but shit, you can get a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday weekend whenever someone goes to the beach, like you said.
Oh yeah, but back to the 40 an hour thing. I screwed myself on that. I should have told them no chance, because the thing is your taxes that come out of that. See, so when you do your 1099, it looks good, right? Oh wow, I just made $1,000. Well, a lot of taxes are about to come out of that $1,000, and you won't know it until it's time to pay. And then that's got to be built up in your account and ready to leave. So, and taxes is a whole thing on its own, man. I'm not even there yet. I got to learn that stuff. I hate that crap, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Everybody does, but I'm not interested in it. I need to be, but that's something I'm definitely lacking on, is taxes and learning how to do that. I'm paying them, just don't know what I'm paying. I'm paying them, but I mean, I'm pretty sure I bought Biden a Rolls Royce. I just don't know. Don't know what I'm doing.
What about like you said, lawn care companies? Who else did you reach out to when you first started?
Reach out to, man, honestly, I had so much word of mouth at that plant that I worked at. I mean, we had tons of jobs coming from that, just people in the plant. I mean, it was like maybe 700 employees there, and we had a weld shop, I think like 5-6 dudes. So people knew that we were welders, and we were wearing different uniforms. So if they saw us, they would talk to us and ask us if we'd fix stuff. We'd say, yeah, of course. And that's actually how I got that shipping container job. But just a word of mouth, man. I mean, I'm sure people are starting to know who you are, and once you start running your own business, they'll start coming to you. But I mean, Google Ads, as Johnny Snyder's told me about that a million times. I've yet to do that. The reason I haven't done it is because the shop I'm in, I'm not going to want to pay insurance for that, to be honest with you. I'm just going to keep it under the radar. I'll probably change it to a mobile thing and then place like a sign outside my house or something. But I mean, I'm working out of my grandma's shop. I don't want to have an insurance company wondering why I'm catching shit on fire in there.
Grandma's a
Yeah, Grandma likes to TIG weld. Okay. No, I gotta figure something out. Speaking of Grandma, dude, she had a Valentine's Day, and she had all her friends from church, and one of them took out a mailbox. I'm talking, took that thing straight out the ground. I don't know if y'all seen it. I sent it to y'all.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yep.
Where out the ground, I had to fix that. So I was glad I was a welder. I didn't need to weld it. I just beat it with a mallet and jammed it back in the ground. But I'm just glad she didn't hit the wooden one. That's all I told her. I was like, I'm glad you didn't hit the wood one.
Grandma's friends like Corona too, Harrison?
No. I'd get in trouble. I'd get addicted. Nah, she's almost Jesus. Like seriously.
She's almost.
Her and Jesus are tight, dude. Like.
And then her grandson's out in the back shop, a welder.
I did cuss in front of her the other day because
Lord,
he was bending some rebar in a vise. He don't work with metal, but he was working with it, and he was heating up the rebar and like smacking it with a vise, and somehow that butane torch went flying in the air, lit. She was right here beside me. I'm sorry, Grandma. Dude,
sorry, Grandma. I got scared.
Dude, I did. I thought that thing was gonna blow up. It probably wouldn't have, but I mean, it went flying in there lit. I was like, dude, what's gonna happen?
So, Harrison, when you first started doing what you're doing, looking back, what were some key pieces of equipment that or some equipment that you wouldn't buy again right away? And then what are some that you would have bought quicker?
Start with a welder, but
Yeah, well, that's fair.
Brent already has 20 of them, so
he's good. He's good. He's got it.
I think he's got that. Do you have a mobile setup yet?
No.
I mean, I know the plans, but
yeah. So there's that plan that you know about, but also I could just run a generator.
I would not do that.
I have done it now, but
the reason I wouldn't do that is, let's say that your machine that you've got the generator hooked up to, let's say it breaks. What are you gonna do now?
Go grab one of his other 30 machines he's got sitting in the shop.
What are you gonna do? Well, yeah, if you want.
Hey Oleg, I just blew this fucker up. Send me another one.
Oleg will probably come in on an Apache helicopter and drop you a Typhoon 330.
Ferrari pulls up. Here you go, Bryn.
Pulls up on a Black Hawk with 4 Typhoon 330s.
Probably. It's a bright green Black Hawk too.
Honestly, I think that's what the business's money should go to. That'd be so sick, dude.
The Black Hawk.
Everlast Black Hawk. My God, that'd be so sick.
Well, shit, I just bought a portion of that Black Hawk then, right, Brent?
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that yet?
Oh, shit. Well, I'll let Harrison finish, and then I'll go on to my side of the equipment thing.
I'm okay with what to have.
Yeah, what would you have versus what would you never buy again that early?
Okay, well, you've already got the Evolution chop saw. I wish I would have got that way earlier.
Do you have a mag drill?
I don't have a mag drill. I'm working on that.
Mag drill, that's mine. That's mine right there. That's probably mine.
I don't know. I broke this finger when I was doing it part-time for myself.
Yep.
Straight up like that. I had a hammer drill and 1/4 inch, broke that bone immediately. So
yep.
my mag drill would have stopped me from breaking my bone, so that would have been great.
Yep.
It was right in the summer too, dude. So I ruined.
Man.
Yeah, ruined the whole summer. No jet skis, nothing fun. No shooting guns.
No stroking it. Had to switch hands.
Couldn't stroke it. I had to use my feet. It's just a ton of different things. Had to use my dog's ears. Oh man, I don't know. I mean, of course, all your basic tools. I mean, you need your ratchets and wrenches.
Your clamps, your hammers, all that shit.
I mean, starting out, you don't need a crane or nothing. You need a basic set of tools. I mean, I know you got a grinder. I mean, dude, I've done so much with a grinder, it's not even funny.
If you could get good with a cutoff wheel, I think you're just about set. Bro, honest to God.
I made a cutoff do things it didn't know it could do. I mean,
and it probably shouldn't have done, to be honest. You're squinting at it like, all right, we're going to see how this goes.
I made a post that did really well on my Instagram, and it's me cutting a 4x8 sheet in
Yeah.
like 4 pieces with a
Yep.
cutoff wheel, and I use like 20.
It's just shattering the cutoff wheel and fucking disintegrating it.
Well,
Ah.
everybody thinks I was getting brand new ones. I wasn't. I was getting all my old little small ones that have already been ate up. I was using every one of them. So in the video, I changed it like 20 times, and everybody's just, dude, there's such a better way. In the comments, everybody's mad at me about it, but I don't have the. I can't remember the
Skill saw?
Yeah, I don't have one of those from Evolution yet.
Worth
I'm
it.
working on that,
Yeah.
but I don't have it yet. So
I think I'll probably need to get one of those
yeah,
because I'm getting a plasma table, or I'm either gonna have to get one of those to cut it up to the size that I need, or I'll just order my sheets through work and have them cut it on the laser into like 6 different pieces or whatever.
that'd be
Yeah.
real nice.
And you save yourself almost $400 having to buy the skill saw. I mean, it's
Yeah.
worth it. If you get good with it, I think I've gotten pretty snappy with it, dicing up sheets and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
dicing up my thumbs and every other limb. I have fun
just,
too,
you
dude. I
know,
love
look,
it. I had a buddy that actually did cut his thumb off.
just ran right over.
No,
You
he's
gotta be
holding.
pretty dumb to be running the saw and having your hand there.
It was a chop saw with a piece of
Oh,
aluminum in it, and he didn't have it clamped down. I don't even think he had the clamps on it. Like I said, it wasn't an Evolution. It was, I don't know what it was. Probably made off of a freaking wheel off a car or something. I don't know. But he was holding the piece, and that got him, and it took his thumb.
Mm.
Yeah, it got him pretty good.
I
He was in that
remember
school with me.
the first time, right when I got my Evolution chop saw in, I left the Allen wrench in when I swapped out the blades to switch to a
On the
non-ferrous
blade,
material.
you left it in on the blade.
Yeah, on the nut that holds it in place. And I started it, and I don't know where my hand was. My right hand was somewhere else, but the Allen wrench flew out and busted my knuckles pretty hard, but nothing broke.
I
I
love
don't think.
busting my knuckles, dude.
that just makes you want to knock cousin Fred Grandma. That's what that makes you want to do.
Don't you? Don't you love them bloody knuckles, dude? Don't you love that? God, I know that hurt. Sometimes them little pieces of tubing, bang, just splotch. And they hurt when they hit too, dude. Like if you cut right on the edge trying to save some material,
Yep.
doing some stuff you shouldn't be doing, those things will launch. I've had that happen a couple of times. Ain't nothing on the saw. It's just me. I'm being stingy. But regular tools, man, I don't know. I mean, I would get a torch. I'm sure you got oxyacetylene yet?
No, I don't.
I'd get that for the more thicker stuff. I mean, you can plasma cut it, but on a mobile setup, I would just have oxyacetylene. Just make it simple. You can use it anywhere and do anything with it. So I'd get that. And like I said, I mean, I'm still learning myself. I've got to build 2 trailers because I put it all on the truck, and I'm gonna get rid of that truck. Eventually, I will get another truck, but for right now, I'm just gonna run 2 trailers. One medium trailer with a Lincoln. Man, I can't remember, Lincoln Ranger 8. Yeah, Lincoln Ranger 8 gas drive. I got that one as my second one, and I think I might have like 1,300 in it, and got it for a deal, like
That's pretty
800
good.
bucks or something in
Yeah.
it. Then I've got the Lincoln 305D on the truck, and I'm gonna put that one back on the trailer I bought it with. So leads, that's another thing, dude. Don't just wrap them. Oh my God, I bought reels after about the second time of wrapping 100 foot back up a 1/0 gauge. Yeah, no. That dude, my shoulder still hurts, and that was a year ago. I'm not doing that. Seriously, Andrew, have you wrapped up leads
Oh yeah,
before?
I've wrapped them up. Yeah, it sucks. It's terrible. With the company I was working for, Bosch Welding, Bryn, and Grand Island,
Yeah.
when we were working at the packing plant and we'd pull out 100 foot worth of leads to get into the augers we were changing out. And then, yeah, you got to wrap up 100 foot worth of leads that's covered in melted cow fat and blood and bone. And it's a great day. Oh, it's a
Yeah,
great day, Harrison.
what were they?
Yeah.
Probably 2/0.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That right there, that's not fun
Yep.
at all.
It wasn't fun at all.
I'd definitely
Nope.
get you some reels.
No
Get
doubt.
that acetylene too, because they got that, and they're not near as much as I thought they were going to be. Don't go with no high dollar. All it does, you just want to make sure you don't need to build it yourself too, because it needs to have like isolators inside of it. It's not just a reel.
Does it? Does it really?
It's got some of those. Oh, does it? Let me take some. Yeah. Okay, Poppy. Yeah, you remember that? That was weird, boy. You looked at me, God. I was like, what the fuck are you looking at?
Harrison, hey, hang on. I'm gonna go stroke it real quick. I'll be right back.
No.
And then, uh, oh man, I just had a question, but I can't
Somebody's
remember
gonna have
it
to
now.
edit a good
Oh,
bit of this.
do you have accounts through your like local welding supply store?
Yeah.
You do?
Oh yeah. So I mean, I go to one that's 30 minutes away. The one 2 minutes down the road, they're not worth crap. And I mean, they have everything I need. They're just worse customer service, and I mean, there's no chance I'm going there again. I've went there like 10 times, get screwed every time I go in there, and I'm just
Is
kind
it
of like,
is it air gas or is it a
no,
smaller chain? Oh man.
no, it's dude. I don't know how they made the money. I mean, they've got a million tractors. I mean, there's a rental company for tractors and stuff, but I can't stand them. I mean, God. I've wasted so much time going to them than just driving 30 minutes down the road. It's
Yep.
unbelievable. It's worth it. It's honestly worth the drive, which blows my mind. The truck's blown up going there. My dad's truck's blown up going there. I mean, it's a pain, but to be honest with you, it's still worth it. And then I have one a little bit down the road. They don't do metal though, so I don't really go there. And they do my gas though for the most part,
Mm.
and they're about probably 15 minutes away. But yeah, that one's Arc 3. It's a name brand. I don't know if y'all have an Arc 3 where y'all are.
Mm-mm.
Arc 3 gases. Yeah,
Nope.
it's not air gas. It's nicer.
Yeah. Well, I hate air gas. I like you said, I went to them for the longest time. And just got the. I mean, I was in there a lot, like you said, filling bottles, wire, consumable stuff like that, and they just act like I'm there by an inconvenience, and I'm a waste of their time. And then they would give me hell over certain bottles that I had, like, oh, this one looks like it's out of date. We can't fill this one. I was like, I just got this one from you guys a week ago, and I just used all of it. What the fuck are you talking about? And they pissed me off. So I'd go down, I'd go down to Matheson, which is, it was right, it was just down the road. It wasn't any farther, and I love them. I'm in and out. They don't care what kind of bottle I bring in. They could have, a Nazi symbol on it back from World War II, and they'd be like, oh yeah, this looks like it's in date. Bring it on in. It's good.
We've seen a couple of those in the pallet packs.
I have not. I've always wanted to see one. I haven't seen one yet.
Oh my God, that's what we ran off of. If you want to change that thing, you better have a forklift laying around because
Yep.
that thing is huge. Like the big bottles, and it's got this massive steel cage around. It's cool, but God,
Yeah.
dog, it's a pain. It's a pain.
Yeah.
The school I was at was really cool. They had the whole system plumbed to a massive argon tank. And
It's so nice, isn't it? Yep.
massive. And
Yep.
like every booth was plumbed in. So I mean, when you got to school in the morning, you put your hoses on and you're ready to go. I mean, it was super cool. That's another thing, dude. I wished I would have paid a little bit more attention in school. I mean, I did really good. I mean, I made like A's on everything and passed all the tests except the stick pipe. I had a teacher. I don't think he knew how to turn on the fucking machine, and he was telling me how to weld pipe. So I don't know why I listened to him. They also had kind of like a split thing with the teachers. So it was him and then another teacher. One teacher knew what he was doing. The other one didn't. I didn't know until I failed the test. So I wish I would have paid more attention on the stick welding part of things because that's another thing. When you start, Brandon, have you done much welding outside?
Nah, not a lot.
So gas is going to be a problem. It doesn't matter if you put that thing on 25, your gas is going to get taken away.
Yep.
Flux, might as well forget it. I can't stand flux.
You don't like flux?
I hate flux. Maybe it's because I've only ran 030, but I hate flux, dude. Hate it. Everything's messy. Everything looks like like a bird flew over it. You know that term when they say that? It literally looks like that. Until you clean it all up, but hell, half the time it's harder to clean flux than it is a stick weld. I mean, it's everywhere. It's just it's a dirty, violent arc. And for like handrails and stuff, I'm not flux scoring nothing.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, MIG welding. If you're gonna do a handrail, ain't no way I'm stick welding that. My uncle was like, Harrison, you got a stick welding machine, you ain't stick welding. I was like, you're outside of it. I would lose my tail if I stick welded this.
Yep.
I mean, this would be $100,000 handrail. Nobody's paying for that. I said,
No.
I'm gonna MIG weld it. And these big dogs around here, dude, They MIG weld everything. I mean, it's not like it
Well,
has.
it's fast. I mean, the goal is to get in and get out, not no.
As long as it
Why
doesn't
would
have a scrap and it don't break, it's good.
why would you it's just that wasted time having to weld it with stick when you can MIG it.
Exactly.
Just
And
what it is.
a lot of the welders around here, and of course other places. And I'm friends with a lot of the welders around here. They make their money from handrails. So
Mhm.
you need to look into to handrails because every building by code has to have that handrail if it's a certain height, and they have to have the 4-inch spacing and the 36 high and all that. So they they all have to beat code, every one of them. And some of these residential homes that are getting built, those have to meet code too. So they're having to have a handrail as well. Handrails are really high paying. Depending on what you do, it can be 80 to 250 a foot. My buddy
Yep.
charges for the high end handrails about 250 a foot. So they're really really high end. The part with that I'm still learning is the dimensions and stuff. So I'm probably going to start getting into CAD designing and stuff like that because I'm tired of having to do the measurements on something that's not even level and stuff like that. I just want to be able to look at it, write all my measurements down, the rise and the run, then go in there and put it on the software and go from there because it saves a lot of time and you can think about it because I've done one where I've just lagged them into the stone and then I put the piece on top and welded it and I kind of had to do it on that because it was a stone slab and it was unlevel. It was really hard to do that one, but it would be so much nicer as a plug and play if I could just dial that in. That's
Yeah,
another thing.
if you can learn to run the CAD program and you can
Yeah,
understand how to use it, I mean, why not? It's there. It's there to use.
yeah, I need to learn it. And the
Yeah.
running like anchoring stuff. It's another thing you got to learn what's good with you. Like for concrete anchors, I'm gonna use a redhead, dude.
Redheads all day.
I
Yeah.
tried tap cons. I hate them. I hate them. I can't.
Have you tried a two-part epoxy drilling
I
out of
haven't.
concrete? Yeah.
I haven't done that. I haven't done that.
When
You talking
we
about with a threaded rod?
Yep, when we do our washer bases, I mean Harrison, that shit, it don't come out. I don't care what you put it. If it's mason, concrete, brick, stone, anything, you drill a hole, you pump that shit full of epoxy, the two-part epoxy, it's gonna stay there. And it sets up to less than 2 minutes, you're ready to zap it down.
And
And it
you put the bolt sticking out about what, an inch or so?
an inch, yeah. We'll pre-cut all of our threaded rod to a certain length, and then you drill your hole. You know, we take a piece of tape, we'll mark the drill bit, drill it to a certain depth, and then fill it with epoxy and pop the threaded rod in there. And
I'm
that
sure
fucker won't come out.
it's a lot cheaper too.
I would think so, because redheads can get expensive. I think last time I
Dude,
looked, I don't know, they're not cheap.
dude, tap cons cost me $15, and they weren't even the big ones. It's like
Yep.
I'm paying outrageous prices just to anchor something. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Now, if you can buy, threaded rod and cut it up yourself, I think it's cheaper. I think per rod it would be cheaper.
No doubt at all. But yeah,
So
Bryn, you need to make sure you're not losing money on your materials and your consumables too. You need to figure out how much gas you're using. I don't have that down to an exact science, but I have it down to where I'm not losing money. I'm not going to lose money. That's the big thing. You want to make sure you're not skipping something where you're losing money. The gas you had to go to get that metal, I don't care if you
charge
work
it.
there. I don't care if you work there. I don't care if it's a minute from you. You need to charge for that because one day you might not be working there and you might have to go get that metal. And now your prices are sky high and they're not used to it. So just because you're at a benefit, you need to profit off of that benefit. So your metal, you need to upsell that. I don't really do anything crazy on that. I make it worth my time to go get it, but where I make the profit is of course the labor. But I mean, you can't lose money on that either, though. You really got to manage what you're doing with that. I mean, MIG wire ain't cheap, gas ain't cheap, nothing's cheap, especially if you get into TIG stuff. So it's just, and I actually don't do much TIG welding. I mean, that knuckle was, besides a couple of aluminum things I've done, I don't really do much TIG welding. I'm wanting to. I want to fly out to Austin and get him to teach me some stuff. That dude's doing some crazy stuff, and nobody in my area is doing that.
No.
Yeah,
It's not like I'm competing with a guy. Nobody over here is doing that.
Yeah.
I was Andrew and I asked him about it on him and Johnny on both of their podcast episodes, and he said like you pretty much just eyeball how to get from one end to another without running into shit.
That's a pretty damn calibrated eyeball.
No.
That's a surgical eyeball right there. God dang.
Yeah, eyeball in my ass. He is lying.
Ah.
That ain't no eyeball because his fit ups are spot on. That ain't no eyeball. Because if I eyeballed it, we'd have a 1/2 inch gap at least. So yeah, no, he's got more than a calibrated eyeball. I'd want to go over there and see that because it's cool, man. It's what he's doing. It's sick. I want to do more TIG welding. It's a way more enjoyable welding in my eyes because I mean, MIG, I'm just sitting there holding a trigger all day and making things stick together, and then stick, I'm going to be there for 10 years and lose my tail on it. And TIG, you know, if I lay down a beautiful weave and the customer can see that, they're going, wow, I'm paying for quality here.
Yeah.
But I mean, MIG welding's not bad. That's all I do really. But I mean, I have stick welded the handrails, the big handrails and stuff. But dude, you got so much time in stick welding. I mean, it's unbelievable how much time you have in stick welding, and that's what they want. Some of these people, they want you to stick weld it. They don't want you to MIG weld it. They want you to stick weld it. Okay, if I'm charged by the hour, okay, a year, a minute, and you are, dude. I mean, your rods. I mean, another thing, I'm sure you know this. I think I've already told you. Make sure your machine can run cellulose rods. Don't show up to run a 60-10 and the machine don't run a 60-10 and burns out after a second of arcing off. I've done that and basically wasted a whole day.
Yeah. And Andrew, you never did get into what you had to say for equipment.
So I think what Harrison said was pretty good. I mean, everybody's going to be different, but if I was to redo it again, I would start with the old Facebook marketplace, get either a bandsaw or a circular saw. I'm a big fan of the bandsaws because I do a lot of, it's more of like a mass fabrication side. So I like to be able to set that saw up and walk away and go do other stuff and work while it's cutting. That way I don't have to stand at a chop saw all day. So I would probably start with a good saw. And then from there, clamps and jigs, man. Fireball tool squares, they're worth every penny to me, especially if you're doing a lot of tubing like I'm doing. I mean, everything I do is pretty much 1.5 inch square tube. So I use the hell out of my, extra 5 sticks, Harrison. Yeah, you asshole. So I use the hell out of my Fireball tool squares. And then as far as clamps go, I like the Amazon special because I'm constantly using my clamps, in ways I shouldn't. I'm tacking them onto tables to hold something in place or, to create a jig, this, that, and the other. So I like a good clamp. And obviously you need your welder. I think you should start with that to begin with. You shouldn't buy anything until you buy a damn welder. And I don't care if it's a Yes welder or an Everlast or a Miller. I've had good luck with all three of them, believe it or not. I ran a Yes welder for a while, and I ran that bitch clear into her duty cycle. And then she just blew up, and that was it. So, but
blowing up.
Oh yeah, just blew the fuck up. I was like, well, you know what? Fair enough. I shouldn't have been doing what I was doing with it.
So, Brandon, on your welding business, the first thing I'd focus on is learning how to weld, though.
Yeah, right.
Just kidding.
And I mean, if you start with the machine, and you can always find used tools on Marketplace. I've bought so many Brent's seen it. I have bought so many damn bandsaws off of Facebook Marketplace. It's not even funny. And then a good table's great. You can start with the cheap Harbor Freight one, or you can go to the local steel yard and you can buy a 1.5 thick 5x10 sheet that I bought.
Brent, don't do that. You'll never be able to move the thing. You'll never be able to move that.
You won't. You'll need a wrecker to come in and move it because that bitch is heavy.
I can't fit this workpiece in the shop. Let me move my 1.5 welding table. It's no easy task. You can't even buy casters for something that big, dude.
I do. They came off. Listen. They came off of They came off of an Air Force base that they had underneath these platforms that they rolled around to set jet engines on. So
You telling me, yeah. I'm sure that didn't cost a lot, Brad. Go ahead and get you some Air Force wheels.
I got all 4 of them for, it was $200 is what I got all 4 of them for. And they're monster. I got them they were used, obviously, but
That thing would have been $4,000 in scrap. He got robbed. How big is it again? 5x10?
5x10. Yep, 5x10.
It's massive, dude.
Oh, it's huge. It's awesome. I fucking love it. I'll fit anything I want on there. It's great.
Oh my God.
So obviously you don't need to go 5x10 table, but something.
Mine's half inch and not a thing on it's flat. So I would recommend I would recommend getting something flat. Be honest. Well, you already have a fixture table, don't you?
No, it's not a fixture table, but I think I'm gonna build like a longer one, like yours. Yours is longer. I found one on Marketplace that I should have bought, but I didn't. That
Dude, mine's
was
a horrible size. It's a 3x11. It doesn't make any
It's such a
sense.
fucked up size.
yeah. I'd make it deeper, but about I'd like that length. I think.
You don't like that width, I promise.
Yeah.
Can't do nothing. Dude, I had a barrel fall off and hit me in the head the other day. Like a whole freaking, I don't think you can see, but dude, oh my God. So I'm laying underneath this barrel welding. So I was making a deer feeder. So we make hanging and standing deer feeders and hog feeders, whatever comes to it. But we were making where we could add legs to it. So it's not just a hanging one. And I had it clamped down. Well, my uncle clamped it down. Like I said, he doesn't do anything with metal. Clamps it down for me. So I'm like, all right. So I'm welding underneath this thing. I see it start to roll. So I grab it. He's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He's just standing there, dude. He didn't grab it. He went, whoa, whoa.
That's your alarm. That's for you to get out of there. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Dude, grab it. He didn't grab it. It came pounded down on me, hit me in the leg, hit me on the arm. I'm still sore. That was like maybe 2 days ago. That thing was every bit of 60, 70 pounds came off the top of that table. And it me not a sorry nothing. He said, I thought you had it.
I thought you had it. Well, guess what, motherfucker?
I don't got it.
And I think the rule of thumb to go by is that where a table starts to maintain its flatness and comes from the mill flat is like a 5/8 table. I think anything 5/8 and up tends to stay really flat and comes flat enough. You know, it's obviously not fireball, tool square, surgical flat, but I promise you it's plenty flat to do the work we do. Something like that. And then I've been in this a while, and I told Brent about this, and Brent lost his shit when I texted him. It was like a week and a half ago, or it was a week ago, actually. Week ago Friday, I think. I texted him. I said, hey, you know, what's your affiliate code? I need to buy something through it. He's like, oh, here it is. I said, okay, cool. I'm getting ready to purchase, you know, the Red Saber 3001X, their big boy laser unit.
You are crazy.
And then, yeah, and then Brent lost his shit and was like, can I call Jesse? Can I tell Jesse? Can I tell Jesse? I was like, yeah, sure. He told Jesse and you know, I ended up ordering it that night, but I needed something. I wanted to be able to get into laser welding because that's where I think a lot of the market is going, especially for machinists around here. You know, they need really tight tolerances welded. I mean, Brent does a lot of it. And think about it, how many other laser welders are there in a shop around Grand Island? I have yet to hear about one in Ocala, and I know there's work for it. There's plenty of hospital equipment being welded, plenty of surgical equipment, stuff like that. And I'm looking to get into that. And not only that, I needed the cleaning function for these trailers I'm building. I got a couple more lined up. Who the fuck wants to sandblast? That's bullshit. And I would be close to 10 grand into a good sandblasting setup. Once you get the air dryer, the compressor, the actual hopper, all the sand, once you set up a spot for it, and then you got to spend, you know, hours a day doing something that's slow versus the laser, which is a lot faster. I think it was like just right at 5 inches a second. I mean, it was a crazy number how much faster it was than sandblasting. Yeah, I know. 5 inches a second is pretty fucking fast, Harrison.
Sounds familiar, dude.
That's double speed for you. The fuck you talking about? But I ended up pulling the trigger on it, and then got a call from, you know, Everlast. They told me it would be about 2 weeks. They got to get me a transformer lined up because you got to go from single phase 220 to three phase, which is what the machine runs off of. So I'm really excited for it. I'm really excited for the cut function and the weld function.
Are you gonna wire that up?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Give Logo a call if you need any help. You know, I'll be able to help you out.
No, my brother does. I mean, my brother does a lot of wiring, and electrician stuff, so he's gonna help me with it. But it's just 220. That's all it is. Make sure you size the breaker right. So I'm really excited for it. A lot of cool stuff coming, but obviously that's a big ticket buy-in. So I wouldn't recommend getting that as your, you know, first tool that you would buy when starting out. But
$19,000 machine.
Yep, $19,200 after taxes and shipping.
Go and grab a Big Blue. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
$25,000
And the worst part was is I was sitting at the bar up the road, and it's a billiards bar, and you could smoke in this bar, and I'm sitting there, and I'm putting the card info in. I'm like, well, shit. I hit pay. I took a swig of the Coors Light, got a confirmation email. I was like, damn, that was pretty fucking expensive.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited for it. It's gonna be a good
I
time.
just paid Brent a lot of money.
Exactly. And that's the I'm like, well, I don't want Everlast getting all the money. I mean, Brent should get some of this money. I mean, 5% of 19,200. It's a good chunk of change. So
Brent owes us a couple T-bones because I'm part of this now. So I think you owe us a couple.
well, that's what I told him. I said, next time I'm up there, you gotta buy. You're buying dinner. I'm about to buy the Red Saber 3001. Oh shit.
Everlast is taking you out to eat, dude.
Yeah, which, I'm really excited for it. It's going to be a freaking blast. And then, of course, why do you need a laser, Andrew? Why do you need a laser this? Why do you need a laser that? Well, like I said earlier, I think that's where it's going a lot in this industry.
Yeah, the best thing to do is make sure it's working. Is just aim it straight at your eyeballs and go ahead and press the trigger.
Just it's like a face scan recognition. You turn it on clean, just right over your face.
That's how you get LASIK, dude. It's the same thing. So,
It's the same thing. Dude, you think I could do some manscaping with that thing? Just turn it down a little bit?
I don't know. If you can, send it over here because I already broke the Manscaped 2.0. That lawnmower 2.0, I broke that thing.
I remember that video.
I took it apart and that thing was rusty, boy. So I gotta get them to send me another one.
Is there anything else you guys think that myself and the listeners should know?
You're gonna lose money for a while.
Yep.
If you don't have money, you don't need to do this.
Oh man, that's so. If you don't have a good stack of cash in the bank, it's not
gonna profit on this.
You're not gonna make it.
At least a year or two, probably.
I agree with that. Yeah.
All my buddies like, Harrison, you're not doing anything. What do you want me to do, dude? You want me to go to the shop with a line-up door with all of my customers waiting on me? I said, dude, it don't work like that. I got to get the job. I can sit at the shop. Shop's already spotless. I have nothing else to work on. I can't just sit in there and wait for somebody to show up. It's not an actual shop. It's at my grandma's house. I'm not going to sit over there for 10 years. Hey, man, I'm waiting on y'all. Come over here. Yeah, meet me over here anytime. No.
I'm here.
Basically, appointment only. So, I mean, yeah, I do stuff over there. But, yeah, all my buddies are, oh, man, what are you doing? What are you doing at the house, man? You need to be working. I said, dude, there ain't nothing for me to do until somebody hits me up. It's not like I got a line out the door. It don't work like that. So, you have no guarantee amount of money. Nothing. And if you get into a big job, you need to make sure you have an engineer. And like if you do something big, dude, and it falls on you, you're screwed. You're screwed.
Yep.
Especially if you don't have insurance and you're doing it the sketchy way, which is what I did for a while until I finally said, all right, I have to do this. If you don't have it dialed in, because like I'm about to do a cage that over a bar that holds a lot of alcohol in it. I'm probably gonna have to get my buddy with his business to use his engineer to design it, because I mean, if it falls out the ceiling, it's on me. He doesn't want it anchored into the ground, so if I can do it without it being anchored in the ground, I'm gonna do it. But if I have to anchor it, I'm anchoring it. But either way, I got to get his engineer involved to make sure what's happening is possible. It's a lot of trial and error. Like I said, you're gonna have stuff break a lot. You're gonna have to fix it. I wouldn't under brace anything. You want to think metal's really strong, but when somebody's going down the road and a 20-inch log falls on the inside of it and goes through the expanded that you put, now it's on a highway. I mean, it's a ton of things, dude. I mean, you got to brace stuff really well, and things that you would think would never break are gonna break. So
it's called cheap insurance. Adding a gusset like that is just cheap insurance.
Yeah, I should have put a gusset on that trailer. I did, but I didn't. But
yeah,
I mean, I've done a lot of trailer repair, like rusted out boat trailers and all kinds of stuff. I've welded John boats, a lot of John boats. All these guys duck hunting, they want to add stuff to it. That's another thing. I've caught so many John boats on fire, it's not even funny. And
the foam inside, yeah.
None of them were mine, dude. The foam catches on fire, and now you got to soak this thing with water and hope it goes out, or else you're screwed. A customer's bringing me a couple floaters to put on the back of this thing, and I'm taking the flotation out that's already in it. Yeah, that makes sense. So, yeah, seriously, though, I mean, I would soak the crap out of a John boat if you ever do it again. Pontoons, I'm not touching a pontoon again. Like I said, I lost my money on it. I don't think there's a way I could profit on a pontoon. They're too dangerous. There's a ton of different things that can cause them to blow up, and it's already aluminum. And unless you have a shop like Andrew that you can fit a 24-foot pontoon in, it's going to be a absolute pain to weld on. I mean,
Yeah.
talking about wind on that was horrible. I mean, I've had to grind out so many of the aluminum welds to redo it. The spool gun won't do that, in case anybody's wondering. Spool gun won't do that. I learned that the hard way.
If I were to give you 1 or 2 tips, I'd say don't start unless you have cash lined up. Like Harrison said, it's not a get rich quick. This is, I mean, I'm a couple years into it, and so is Harrison. We're both far from yachts and Ferraris and Apache helicopters, but we'll be there one day. Yeah, we'll be there one day.
I'm still trying to afford a Honda Civic right now.
Now, you can afford shit. I'm looking, I can't even get to that right now. But I wouldn't start unless I had a good amount of cash to live off of. And dude, buy the tools while you're working for someone else. You're working your full-time job, and if you're living at home or you got your own apartment or whatever, take the time, save the money, buy all the tools before you even start. Saws, drills, hand tools, clamps, jigs, anything you can before making that leap. And that makes that leap a lot easier. And then just stay at your normal job as long as possible. Sometimes I wish I would have stayed a lot longer at the job I was at before jumping full-time into Southern Weatherworks and the welding side of things. But, and like Harrison said, it takes a year and a half, 2 years to get word of mouth really moving around to where you have a consistent customer base. I mean, you're at least a year until, I don't know, 10, 15 people know of you pretty well to come back to you. But you got to think about it. There's 365 days in a year. You'd like to have a job for every single day if you can. That way you can pick and choose which job you do. So just give it time. And then do jobs on the weekend while you're working for someone else. Don't just jump full time into it and think that it's going to be this great big thing. Yeah, it's cool to own your own business and all, but it's more stressful than anyone will ever know. So be patient with it.
The reason I jumped into it so early, and I've told y'all this before, nowhere around here is worth pay. I mean,
that's a bad thing here in the South. There is no welding job that pays worth a damn.
That's why I'm doing it for myself, because I love welding. I went to school for it as well. I've spent, I don't know, probably 5-6 years on welding altogether now. Best I'm getting offered is $20 an hour. I'm not doing that. There's no chance I'm doing that, dude. Welding aluminum and copper for $20 an hour. I said, no. And I tried to apply at some of these places, but they don't look at skill level. They look at how old you are, and they think your experience is going to outweigh that. I mean, yeah, it does, but you got to give somebody a shot. I mean, getting in on these interviews and stuff like that, half the things are coming through somebody has no clue what's going on. I mean, the what do you call that? HR. It's going through HR. That lady does not care if you get a weld test. She don't care if you get lined up. She doesn't give a crap. She's there to get her paycheck, and that's it. She's not going to care about you getting lined in there. So, and I mean, there's literally nowhere for me to go unless I want to travel or do some pipe welding. But hell, even some of the high-end stainless pipe welding around here is only paying $25 an hour. You got to
why the fuck would you do that? Why would you do something so serious, has such a skill involvement needed for $25 an hour?
Or you can work in a nuclear plant and make good money, but
I
mean, getting in there and taking X-rays every time you weld. I mean,
not for $25 an hour. No thanks.
The nukes, they do pay pretty well, but I'm not, to be honest with you, I'm not at that point. I don't even think I could pass the test. I'm going to start practicing I'll start practicing some 6G heavy wall just to get used to it, and I'll take a test just to say I've done it, because eventually I do want to teach at one of the schools around me where I went. I teach there, and it's a good job. You get your benefits from it, and then all you do is basically sit there and tell the kid if it looks like shit or not and how to fix it. So that's what
you'd be that stingy ass motherfucker. Looks like shit, kid. You better quit now.
I'd be nice to them and everything, but I mean, everybody has to learn at some point. But dude, the problem with it is everybody at these schools, especially Western Welding Academy, oh man, you're gonna come out making $45 an hour, $50 an hour. You ain't gonna make shit.
No, you ain't.
You'll be lucky if you get $15 an hour, honest to God. I mean, really. 20's high around here. Like, that's like 20 an hour. No, dude. I'm not doing nothing. like that for 20 an hour. So
Nope.
I mean, you do one job and you make what you make it probably 2 weeks where you work at, and it's
Yeah.
wow, that's great. But as long as you're managing the money and you're not losing money on consumables, because I mean, if you make $3,000 but $2,000 of that's in material, you did not make $3,000. And if you're not profiting off of the material and stuff, you're really wasting your time. So
Yep.
you make that's the biggest thing I would say is make sure you're pricing it right. And to get it priced right is just make sure you're charging over what you've already paid. So your material, mark that up. Your labor, charge it what it's worth. Don't cut a deal because you're new. That's another thing.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna piss if you come in here doing 50 an hour jobs. The reason I was doing 40 an hour is because it's my first time mobile welding, and I knew the guy, but
Yep.
I mean, he didn't have anybody else to go with. But if I'm talking about widespread. If you're going to all these builders and you're working for 50 an hour, you're going to piss everybody off. But
Yep.
you're also screwing yourself because you just lowered the wage on all welders. So when you do want to make the big money, you're not going to be able to make it because now everybody's having to compete with you at 50 an hour and stuff like that. So price yourself right. That's a big thing, man. I mean, there's no chance I'm getting in that truck unless it's 150 an hour. There's no way.
Yeah.
It sounds outrageous, but you're going to lose your tail. It's not even much profit at 150. You got
Yep.
the diesel. Yeah. There's so much involved with it. So that's my biggest thing to tell y'all is just make sure that you have everything priced right and you're not wasting your time, because I've done that. I've wasted my time.
Well, we appreciate you coming on, Harrison, all the listeners, and I with the insight on starting your own business.
Why
Yeah,
are you smiling?
because we got a good episode. This might even be 2 parts, an hour worth.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on, everybody. My Everlast and Edge link will be in the description. Show Will Andrews Everlast link now that he is on the team.
Congrats. Woo.
But we appreciate everybody listening. And Andrew,
Thanks for listening, everybody. We had a really good episode. If you're looking for custom welding hoods or other custom leather goods, check out sunleatherworks.net. I believe the link is in the bio. And if you're looking for an Everlast machine, check out my affiliate link as well. Thanks, Harrison. We really appreciate you coming on. We look forward to maybe taking that road trip all the way up to Chicago and FabTech.
You got to. It ain't no maybe. You're picking me up. I'm not flying, bro. I don't want to. Pick me up. I will pay the gas, bro.
Well, thank everybody for listening. We look forward to seeing y'all next time.
See you.